Hi, and welcome to Two Grooms
in a pod.
I'm Cleo.
And I'm Shannon.
Delayed reaction, Shannon. I'm sorry that I had to wake you up out of your slumber.
I wasn't asleep.
Well, you were reclined and napping.
Relaxed.
So relaxed that you didn't see my text message that I sent you saying, hey.
My phone was off.
Oh, okay.
From the show tonight.
Yes, the show tonight. You came and saw the show I directed.
Yes.
Steel Magnolias.
Loved it.
It was a good audience tonight.
Yeah.
Y'all were very responsive. And
it was packed.
It's a packed house. It was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
The actors were really good. Actresses were very good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself. One of your best directed shows.
Well, we think so.
Yeah. That I've seen.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, they did a good job. I was very proud of the ladies.
Yeah.
They did. But in getting ready for this podcast, because we're recording this the day before, it's July 3rd.
Yes.
And it's been a busy week with the show opening and everything. And so we haven't had a chance to really do one of these. And we gotta get it done for the Saturday release.
But don't we always do it Thursday or Friday?
Well, yes, lately. But it was late. But usually it's earlier when we do it. So the night was gone.
Okay.
Hence why I don't have my contacts in tonight, because it's so late. My eyes are tired. That's why I started the show with my glasses on. But nevertheless,
I think you'll be fine.
Nevertheless, he persists.
Yes.
Don't y'all hate me?
Never that.
So, guess what?
What?
We got our first brand offer.
Really?
Yes.
Why didn't you tell me before?
Because I'm telling you now on the podcast so that you have an honest reaction.
I'm excited.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear what it is. You might not be so excited when you hear what it is.
Why wouldn't I be?
Can you guess? I mean, I guess there's too many things that could be.
There's too many.
Well, our first brand deal offer was to try out and sell beard dye.
Oh, okay.
Shady.
You're shady. Oh, so someone's trying to tell us we are looking old or something?
I think they were just saying, you guys have white beards.
Okay.
Why don't you try this dye to show people what you look like without your white beards?
Oh.
And honestly, you know what? I'd be interested in trying something like that if it was temporary and wash out. I don't want to try nothing that's going to be permanent and, and then I started having white roots and all that stuff. Mm-mm.
Well, I've been taking a break from dyes. I used to dye every week.
Yeah.
But I kind of,
I've been a bad influence on you.
No. I've, had to let my skin just
relax.
Yeah, relax and breathe a little bit.
I mean, your beard looks good.
Yeah, but I want it to really grow out and be as natural as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I just stopped for the last year or two.
Yeah.
I haven't really been dyeing. Only on special occasions or if I feel it.
Well, XYZ Beard Company.
XYZ? That's the name of it?
No, I'm not gonna promote it.
I thought you said it was someone wanted us to promote it.
They want us to promote it.
Oh.
But promote it by using it.
Oh. So we have to
So if we're not
first.
using it, I'm not going to promote it on the show.
Okay.
And I don't intend on using it because I don't want to dye my beard in a permanent way.
So, but most dyes are temporary. What do you mean permanent?
I mean, it's how you can do it like a washout color. you dye your hair a certain color, then after a couple of washes, the hair color rinses out.
Over
this is
time.
not that. This is a beard dye that the beard stays the color. Is as your hair grows out, it's the root. You start getting your white roots, and you got to dye the roots and all that jazz.
I have to read up on it because I thought that most of the dyes are temporary and your real hair would grow in place of
the
it.
dyes that you use do they wash out?
Not the next day, but over
every time you dye your beard, you have white roots.
It depends on how long I leave it on.
They don't just rinse out.
I know they stay on for a minute.
That's what I'm saying. I want something that I can just rinse out. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what kind of dye you trying to get there.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not going to do it. If they don't make anything that does that, then I'm not going to do it because I don't want to deal with damaging my beard, one, and having to get new growth to get my beard healthy again.
I think most of them are a little permanent, at least a week or two. And then you start seeing your real hair
from the roots. Yes.
You don't want that.
Don't want that.
Okay. Well, you need to lay off of it then.
Ain't nothing to lay off of. I ain't using it.
Okay, we won't use it then.
You can. Or maybe I will. You might use it.
I might.
I didn't order it, so it ain't gonna happen. I guess I order it now. If you want me to, it's a free sample they'll send to us if you want to try it out.
I have to read the ingredients and see.
Well, I guess you get the sample and check it out. See if you want.
Maybe I'll test it somewhere else first.
Okay.
What?
Nothing.
I don't understand. What are you?
What am I
huffing and puffing for? What's the sigh for?
Nothing.
Did I say something wrong?
No, you didn't say anything wrong.
So why did you get quiet? Because that's unusual for you.
I did get quiet. I went on to see what the next topic was.
Oh, you didn't want to talk about it?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't read the room right.
I feel like I got pressure in my head coming up. I feel like a meeting at work.
Am I exasperating you or something?
You good.
Next subject. You done?
Next subject.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So, speaking of the theater, so I was sitting there in the lobby, and I think I could talk about this because this person, I'm sure, doesn't watch or listen to the show. So
you never know.
I don't know her, so it's fine.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there, minding my business, waiting for the show to start. And it wasn't tonight, by the way, when this happened. And this woman sits next to me. Nice woman, very friendly. She kind of had if we're going to talk in archetypes, aka stereotypes.
All right.
If I said she looked like a lesbian, what type of things would you think? And I'm going to say she looked like a country lesbian. She looked like a Caucasian country lesbian. Go. What things are you thinking about?
Boots, jeans.
Check.
Maybe a rodeo shirt-ish. Could be not.
Okay.
Definitely a masculine button-down shirt.
Okay. Yeah, definitely wasn't a feminine shirt. Okay.
Short haircut.
Bang, 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 bang. Yes, what else about the haircut might be true?
What else would be the haircut? It could be blonde or
it was
dark.
blonde. It was blonde.
Okay.
Yes. What else are you seeing in your mind's eye? What else do you see?
About the haircut?
About the haircut. There's one more detail that we're missing out. That could be. Once again, we're playing stereotypes and archetypes, okay, people? We know.
Other than being short?
Yes. What else could be an identifying hair factor that says, oh, this person's probably a lesbian. What else about the hair? You said the hair is short. In this case, the hair is blonde. We know not all blondes are lesbians,
Right.
but that's where we went, and you would be correct in this instance about the hair color. What's one more thing?
I don't know
about the hair. It was shaved on the sides, shaved down on the sides to almost where it had like a comb, like like it was shaved on the side, but there was like long on top.
Okay.
So she was very nice. This lady, let's call her Lady A.
Okay.
So Lady A was very nice. She was very nice. She was sitting there talking, and then she was like, "Oh, blah blah blah. Here's to the show, la 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 la." And then she says, "Oh, I gotta get on the phone and let my partner know where I am."
Mm-hmm.
Of course, when she says partner, what comes into your mind? What kind of lesbian are you seeing when she says partner? The person who has the boots and the boots and the cowboy jeans on, and maybe the kind of masculine shirt with the short haircut, buzz on the side. What are you seeing? What comes to your mind for her partner?
A way softer version of that.
Okay, so
right.
a lipstick lesbian.
I mean,
probably.
Is that a correct term to be used right now?
We're homosexuals. I think we can say something about another homosexual. We're not using that's not a derogatory term.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
if it is, educate us. It's, if it is, let us know. I don't think it is.
Okay. I mean, I've heard it, but I've never
said it out loud.
Them say
I've heard lesbians say lipstick lesbian. Yeah.
Okay.
They probably the ones who invented it.
Okay.
So
I guess, we'll learn.
So you see a more feminine version of her coming up. Okay.
Right.
So that's who I thought too. So she's on the phone. And she's like, "Hey, babe, yeah, go this way, blah, blah, blah. It's this way, turn left, turn right, blah, blah, blah."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on my phone, blah, 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 blah. Oh, hey, this way. I look up and it's a man.
A whole man.
A man with cowboy boots on.
Mm-hmm.
And he had on a cowboy shirt, cowboy hat. And I can't say what I really want to say right now because that is that's a kitchen table talk term, but they did look like they were lesbians. But except he was a whole man, like a biological.
So he was effeminate.
No, he was not effeminate. He was
masculine.
Yes.
Oh.
It threw me off. It threw me so off. I was like,
why?
This masculine woman is with this masculine man. It threw me off. And I immediately went to, she's in the closet. She's on the DL. Maybe
who's in the closet?
She is
the partner.
She is the woman.
The woman. Oh.
Then I also thought, well, maybe he is too. And it's like a whole thing, right? They're mutually, like, hey, let's do this stuff. We come out in front of people. Hey, babe, we do all
So they're
that.
beards for each other.
Beards, that's it. They're beards for each other.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. Because it threw me off. It shut my gaydar. My gaydar went like, we got to reset.
Maybe they're playing in our face.
Because my gaydar went off. I feel like they were playing in my face.
Yeah, it does playing in your face, bro.
So I don't want nobody in the comments talking about we trafficking and stereotypes and masculine women can't want men and da 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 da. And I know all that is true. But my gaydar was telling me something else.
You got it all wrong and you didn't like being wrong.
I don't know if that was what it was. Maybe it is what it was. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. I think maybe that's what it was.
Maybe I just...
They were just playing all up in your face.
They just broke all my rules that I have of how this whole thing goes.
Because you make stories.
And I will make a story up in my mind about people. I sure will.
Well, she broke you down.
Yeah, she did.
She tore you up on that.
She tore me up. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, Lady A. And Man A.
Man A.
I still would bet.
You would have lost money on that one.
I would bet in the nighttime in the dark still that she a lesbian.
Her face is cracked up.
But maybe she's poly or pan.
All kinds of things are going on now.
Yeah, so she
I'm
could be a lot of
confused.
different things.
Yeah.
So I could still be kind of right. Just because she's not with a woman, don't mean she's not into women. Ha ha! I found a way in. That's
True.
what she said.
Could be.
I just gave a great joke. You just ignored it.
I got it. I was ignoring it.
Yeah, you did ignore it. What a horrible audience. You just trying to pay me back for being exasperated earlier.
I figured it out. You're so smart.
Anyway, I'll take my lesbian story somewhere else to somebody else who appreciates it.
I got it.
Yeah.
But you caught me. You did.
Tit for tat.
I learned from the best.
Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't try it, Linda. Best. Don't try you. Who you learning from?
You.
Who you learning from? Hey,
who am I looking at?
Who you looking at? This new you. This new you right here. You're trying to
comfort me up and down.
He tried it.
I did.
And did. Oh my God, I forgot where I was going. So can you tell me, you grew up going to church, right?
Yes.
Your folks take you to church quite a bit?
Yes. I went, my mom, my aunt, who else? My grandmothers. Yeah.
So can you recall maybe the most outrageous thing that you heard in church? That when you think back, you go, wow, that was some bullshit.
You mean now looking back, or you mean doing?
Yeah, now
during the time it was just normal.
You might not have thought about nothing about it then, or you could have, but now definitely you look back on it and you go, that was a little cray cray.
I don't recall anything being too crazy, and I was in a small town, so things were a lot religious, but nothing really awkward. Because I grew up in the time when they had like revivals, and I think I went to a few like tent revivals. That kind
Nobody
of thing,
said anything to y'all about like tithing, and if you're not tithing right, that you're not going to be blessed, and or give more money or stuff like that.
But it wasn't like beating us over our head about it like it is now.
Okay.
Present day, no.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I definitely heard a few outrageous things in the church. One, of course, the biggest one is about God not loving the gays. That's one of the big ones I heard in church. That I figured out was outrageous. But I also think this whole idea of giving until it hurts, giving your money and to the church, that you'll get your money back threefold, tenfold, people giving their light bill money and trusting that the Lord will keep the lights on.
Yeah, we had a pastor that would do that a little bit, but I think there was a limit for him. But it wasn't, again, like it is now. To me.
Well, maybe, I don't think it was like it is. I think it's always been like it is now. It's just more people hear about it, and it just wasn't at your church. Because, recently this guy told his flock that the reason why Jesus hasn't come back is because people ain't tithing the way they should be tithing.
I don't recall hearing it like that. I think, my pastor was a little old school, so he would try it to a certain extent. But I never heard like my parents coming home and saying, what did he say? They just gave what they could. But I don't think my dad or my mom ever gave bill money. There was a limit.
Yeah. Well, I think that only happens in some of the more crazier churches. Okay. But I know this one guy, he told the church to lock the doors and not let people out until they had raised enough money to a certain limit.
This is, a known.
So it's just a lot of crazy things out there.
Yeah. But I've heard a lot of more outrageous things once I got a lot older and, went off to college and went to a lot of these mega churches.
So you didn't go to a church where they were laying hands on and stuff like that?
No.
Oh, see, I went to a laying on of hands church.
We just
where they had touched you on the head, people falling out onto the floor.
It wasn't like that.
People speaking in tongues.
I heard speaking in tongues, but not the healing of people who are crippled and stuff.
Healing.
We never did that crap.
I went to some tent revivals where he got one leg longer than the other. Come on up here. And they holding the foot. Oh, the foot is growing. It's growing.
I think we would have tent revivals come through our town, some, but it was never like a show. Mm-hmm. I didn't see any shows where, somebody's in a wheelchair, you got up and walked, or somebody, had a major affliction and they were healed. And
I ain't never seen that. No. I mean, I've seen it from afar, but I've never seen it in action. And I'll tell you, I could think of it as a child. I had bought in so hard, which is why sometimes when I think about how people have bought in for Trump and stuff, it's easy to see because when you really want to believe in something, or if you love racism, you do a lot of crazy things.
I think as time went on, it became more of a business, and the mega churches started, getting bigger and bigger, and that's when I saw and heard a lot of outrageous things.
Yeah,
growing up, not growing up, but in some of the largest cities I've lived in.
So we recently watched Noah's Ark, the latest Noah's Ark movie. I don't think we talked about this on the last episode.
Talk about it a whole lot, but I saw comments from on internet about some stuff. I meant to ask you about it, but
well, what have you seen?
A few people were giving like a critique of it, and their critique wasn't. I didn't get that out of the movie at all, about it being sexual and
like being too sexual.
Yeah, being sexual or something like that. That connotation. I didn't get that from this.
I think I saw the thing you sent me, that video where the guy, or in the comments, people were talking about like, why do the couples have to want to be, playing with other people? And I must admit, I felt the same way.
You did?
I was like, oh, here we go. Hypersexualized gays. Being in a couple is not enough. You're gonna want to do a third and all this jazz. So it was slightly annoying, because it does. And I know some people will say, they'll accuse me of being the kind of gay that wants to fit into heteronormativity, but I don't think that's what it is. I just think there's different types of gays. We've seen the poly gay. We've seen her. We've seen plenty of poly gays. We've seen plenty of hoe gays. We've seen plenty of open relationship gays. We've seen these girls. Can we see the girls who say, you are enough?
They tried to include it for the crowd that they're at now. They tried to be progressive.
Is that progressive?
Yeah. Because a lot of people are doing it now. I don't think it's regressive. I think now it's a thing. People are doing these poly things, or what do you call them?
Poly, open.
What is it called?
Tries, pans.
Right. All of that stuff. So they tried it at the end, but it was just a small part of that whole movie at the end, right? So I didn't think it was. They didn't knock us in the head with it.
They didn't knock us in the head with it, but it did say something about that relationship. The fact that they sat up there and kissed that stripper. First of all, a stripper. Kissed.
I get it. I get where
in the
you
club
would come from. But for me, it was such a small element of it that it didn't hit me the wrong way.
Okay.
It didn't.
Well, it hit me that way. So I guess it hit me that way. And then I was glad to see that the one guy who, well, I want to get into it if you haven't seen it, but I will say my only critique of the show was that the actors haven't gotten any better. They're pretty much where they were the last time we seen them.
Well, that's why you haven't seen any of them in
anything else. It's like, come on.
Maybe that's where
they
are.
And they were fine. They did the job. They did a good job. Well done. They did what we know them to do. But some of the extras, honey, the supporting characters, trash acting, trash. The woman who played the lesbian who had the baby for him, she was a good actress. Of course, Jasmine Guy is great. You know, the star turns, right? Of course, they're good.
Right.
But the daughter, the trans daughter,
she wasn't good.
Baby, was it her first time?
Probably.
It felt like it. It felt like it. It was rough. It was rough.
It was rough.
It wasn't believable. I'll be constructive. It wasn't believable. It was one note.
Her acting was
okay. Yes, it was one note. There was not much in the way of nuance.
True.
She
didn't have any highs and lows, and there wasn't a range. At all.
But congratulations, you booked the gig. Hey, but there's a lot of good, excellent actors who will never book a gig. So,
well, maybe the budget didn't.
I'm like, who
allow for it?
Is that Patrick Ian Polk's cousin's daughter? I don't know, but anyway, I rate the whole thing a C+. How do you rate it?
I would give it a C, a good C.
Well, so it's
nice try.
Yeah,
it got us interested again.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to see, where they are now.
And if they
kind of thing
released it as a TV show series, I would watch it. And I'd still be like, why can't we do better?
But you're only watching it because we don't have a lot.
Because we don't have anything else. Right? It's the reason why, we would watch Tyler Perry, some of us, not all of us. Some of us love that kind of stuff. But some of us watch it just because we want to see us on
represented.
Right. But then fortunately we have other things that come out that does that. So some people who maybe don't like the Tyler Perry aesthetic can go watch something else. Although I will say Tyler Perry's movie Straw was good. It was good. I mean, it was good. It was a B in my book. I thought Taraji P. Henson did a great job. I thought Sherry Shepherd did a great job. Some nuanced performances. Even some of the extras in the bank were good. Some of the writing.
It was good. It wasn't great for me. Because I was in and out though. I really wasn't paying attention. I was washing clothes and moving around and blah, blah.
Well, a B is,
did I say B?
No, I said B.
Okay.
I mean, a B is good. What did you say?
I didn't give it a score.
What would you give it?
I would give it a C.
He's so hard.
I can't fairly give it because I didn't watch it from start to finish and sat down and invested in it.
Yeah.
I saw bits and pieces because I was doing other things in the house.
Gotcha.
My ADD was kicking in, I guess.
Yeah. Well, check those movies out. We set the bar really low for you, so your expectations will go in low, and then you'll probably love it.
No, go and support it.
That's what I said. Go support it. You just don't have all these expectations, though. It's kind of good when people don't set the bar real high. Then you go in thinking, oh, well, this is probably okay. And you're like, well, this is better than Cleo said it was. That's what I'm trying to do for you.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I still feel the way I felt, but
yeah, it was,
I'm just saying.
You should try it out.
Yeah.
Support it.
So there was a podcast I saw months ago, where this guy, I just saw a clip of it, and this guy said that he thought that Black men should avoid being outside after 10 p.m. because of the way the world is right now with police and everything. What do you think about that kind of statement? I wasn't sure how I felt about it.
I don't know where he's coming from with that. That's pretty deep.
Well, he's just saying that most of the time the worst cops are going to be on the street. And I guess particularly if you're in the city, the worst cops, the cops who are going to pull you over and assume the worst.
But how does one know that you are gay or not?
Black.
Just any black, not even gay.
He didn't say gay. He said black man.
I thought you said gay. Sorry. I think it depends on the area you're in.
Yeah, sure.
Because you can't stay in the house forever. I mean, people
go out. Well, he didn't say forever.
Fun.
He said just after 10 o'clock, get your ass home.
That's kind of scary sounding.
I mean, aren't we in a scary sounding time?
We are, but is that a reason to not live and go out? And I mean, we were out after 10. We went to dinner. So we'd be saying, oh, we got to be in the house by a certain time.
No, I don't think so. And I don't think we should put a curfew on ourselves, but I do. Listen, I live with my head on a swivel. I live thinking, okay, what would I do if I got pulled over at night by a police officer that was dirty, or I felt like, oh, this is it. He's about to try something. Like, what am I going to do? Like, do I drive off? Then he's probably going to shoot at the car. Do I drive off and then start calling 911? I think about these black people who across the country, who've been recently found hanging in trees and stuff, and all of them have been deemed a suicide. And I'm like, what do they do to get that person there to that tree? They, drug them, bind them, hold them at gunpoint. What would I do if I was in that situation? So we live in a time where someone who's already thinking about some of the worst things, maybe usually, are a reality.
Okay.
So I can see how he thinks about this, but I also definitely understand what you're saying, that you can't live like that.
You cannot live like that. But I understand putting it out there so that, like you said, be aware of your surroundings, keep your head on the swivel, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much you have to obey the authorities because that makes the experience better and less chaotic.
Yeah, but at what point do you not? Do you obey them all the way to walking off the bridge and jumping off the bridge?
You just don't know. But they are authorities. You may get a good one, you may get a bad one. I know it sounds really crazy, and it is, but you don't know. But I've also seen it where, a lot of instances where you're dealing with the police, and sometimes the experience is made worse by the reaction of the people, escalating it and not obeying, that kind of thing.
Sure, yeah. Like, oh, I'm not giving you my license. Right. Like, with people, you see people who are not black doing that.
Right.
Or not.
Well, and some black too. Yeah. But I guess, yeah.
But no, what I'm saying is it doesn't escalate the same way it does when a black person does it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm saying, so we have less options. So the whole option of don't say nothing, don't do nothing, girl, that's asking for a lot of trouble if you don't answer these people or whatever.
Right. But I do understand, I guess, what he's saying. It just depends on where you are. Like where we are, I feel safer than a certain kind of city that's known for maybe crime. Because let's face it, sometimes they put us in the same category.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I'm not necessarily worried about that kind of danger, but I'd be worried about different other kind of dangers. I'd be worried about the kind of stuff where people are like, well, do you belong in this nice neighborhood? Who's someone who doesn't know you, just because proximity to the good neighborhood, proximity away from poverty or where crime is more densely happening.
I get it.
For me, I don't know. I just feel like I don't trust these hoes. And I feel like, frankly, I don't trust these hoes. And I just feel like at any moment could be the moment.
As an American, you have to think that. And as a Black person, you have to think those things. Because we see it all the time. So what makes you think that it can never happen to you?
That's right.
You know,
that it can't be you.
Right.
That they're trying to round up.
Because no matter what, a lot of people look at, Black folks as being beneath them. So how dare you make as much money as me, you live in my same neighborhood, or drive this, drive that. It happens. So it's always on my mind, especially the neighborhood we live in too. I think about it a lot. So yeah, you must always be careful.
Well, speaking of being careful, I have a friend, and I have not asked her permission to talk about this.
I was going to ask.
But she'll be okay.
So, are you sure?
Yes, this is anonymous. No one knows.
He or she knows.
Oh, so let me stop. A listener wrote in.
Too late. Too late.
A listener wrote in. Sorry about the other part. Edit. A listener wrote in. And let's call her Belinda. Okay?
Not Belinda. All right.
So a listener wrote in named Belinda. And Belinda said that her friends got mad at her because when she went out of town to meet this guy, she didn't tell anybody where she was going. Why are you laughing?
Oh, Belinda. Why did you do that?
And so Belinda's friends were like, are you nuts? And Belinda was like, well, I've known this person before, blah, 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 blah. I know them over years. Everyone's like, but Belinda, you still need to let people know where you're going. Drop a pin, send some name. You don't know, this person could be been grooming you for years to sex traffic. We don't know what his goal is.
Right.
So you need to let people know where you're going and what you're doing.
Yeah, I think it's always safe to do that.
Always safe to do that. And I don't care. And I'm a little biased towards women because they're more likely to happen to. But you're a pretty man. You better watch out. You might need to drop a tag too. Okay?
Yeah.
Let a friend know. When I was young and pretty and thin, girl, I let the girls know, girl.
Yeah, I had two friends I would always give names,
here's Trade's address.
Yep.
This is what his profile looked like.
The car he drives.
Here's his picture if I got it.
This is the name he told me.
Yes. Here's his phone number he gave me as well.
Yes.
If you don't hear from me in 5 hours.
Yeah, make a courtesy call.
Make a courtesy
call. Yeah, emergency call, right.
Yes, girl. I'll pick up. I'm good.
You sure?
Yes.
What's the safe word?
Right.
Where you live at?
Flintstones. Okay, girl. Yabba dabba doo, bitch. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yes, you gotta have it.
Yeah. So that was a bad move.
So was Belinda's friends right? I think we all in agreement. This is not even a poll. We're all correct. The Belindas of the world. Let your friends know when you're going out of town. It's okay to have a sneaky link, but you need to think about if this man or woman set me up, would anybody be able to track me down?
Yeah. You have to be more careful.
Got to be more careful. Always. Okay.
Yeah.
So to the Belindas of the world,
you can sneaky link on people you've met already.
Yes.
And you've proven everything's okay.
Yeah. As long as somebody knows you went. I don't know. I still think somebody needs to know.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I don't trust these hoes no more.
They ain't loyal.
They're not. Speaking of lack of loyalty.
Uh-oh.
So recently, I was talking with A friend.
That's so many friends. For now, they're gonna be dropping off soon.
I have permission to share this story.
I want to see that affidavit.
I have carte blanche.
Okay.
To tell the story.
All right.
I'm saying that right. Carte blanche.
Okay.
So my friend has another friend, and they're debating to wait or not to wait to have relations. Is there a set time? And is it different for men versus women? Because one of my friends says that you should wait, a few months before you have relations with somebody, especially if they have not told you, "I love you," or anything like that. My friend told the woman who told him this, "Girl, that's some straight people stuff. That don't work for the gays. You try to make a gay man wait for 3 months with no relation,
that ain't happening.
You're gonna be by yourself.
You're getting blocked.
You playing games.
Yep, you playing.
You with somebody. What's wrong with you?
Yes.
Girl, it's gonna be. You're not gonna make it to a month. You're not gonna make it a month. Now that's what he told his friend. Oh. Do you agree with that?
I mean, it is different for women and men, right? But for men, we're so sexual and physical. A short period of time is kind of the norm, and it's okay.
Yeah,
at least for me anyway. Not saying I'm a hoe or nothing, but for guys, it doesn't take us that long to feel comfortable enough to do it. I'm not saying, the day or the night you meet them, but shit, that's happened too. But you go in it knowing, hey, if this ain't working out, then at least I had a good time. Or tried to anyway. You know what I mean? So
sure.
For men, I don't think it takes that long for you to feel an attraction physically, sexually. So it's not a whole lot of time to be waiting for. But on certain levels, sometimes if you want it more meaningful, you kind of.
Well, what's interesting is that the woman was saying that she feels that women are different. Women, of course, are more emotionally connected to sex, and we're talking about having relations with the goal of being with the person, not just hookups. Okay. So that's very different. Women are very capable, like anybody else, of having a hookup. We're talking about someone coming into a situation, man or woman, with the intention of being in a relationship with this person.
I can see the woman wanting to wait.
And which I feel like, what's going on in the straight man's mind when this woman is like, he's wanting and dining her. And according to this woman who had read some dating lady's book, who said maybe even he should take you on a trip for your first, like you should be on a trip, maybe on a vacation with him, and when y'all first have sex. And I'm like, girl, you're not going to make it to the trip.
It's hard out there. I've seen these things too, but with straight couples and how the women.
Why am I not hearing you in my mic?
Testing.
There you go. Yeah, you got
it. Sorry. With these heterosexual folks and dating, about how the guy's supposed to wine and dine them and spend all the money on them and try to get to know them and take on trips and all that stuff. I don't know many guys who can afford to do all that stuff and waste. I don't say waste time, but to spend money on one person for an extended period of time just to get to know them and not showing it and not sure if they like him in return.
Maybe that's a certain level of dating, certain income bracket of dating that kind of thing happens in.
I don't know too many people like that. Is
you just going? Yeah, I don't
spend money on a girl and wine and dine her.
Well, I know dudes who do that, but they do it because they're getting something out of it. They're not doing it, with the hopes they're going to get something out of it. But I think that does start at some point, the hope that you're going to get it. Let me buy you a drink. Let me take you out to dinner. oh, let me pay for your nails to get done.
That's the line I kind of draw with, get your nails and your hair done and stuff like that. I know it happens, but maybe that's why I'm not straight or something. I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't see spending a bunch of money for a woman to pay all of her stuff with the hopes of her liking me one day or showing it one day. It just seems like it's just a money grab to me.
Well, I mean, it kind of is. And some people say that the man is just doing a pussy grab. And it's an exchange of goods or goodies.
Seems like a lot of money to, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what's not happening is that he's not waiting.
He's
now
not waiting.
you may
think he's waiting.
May be doing that 3 months, but girl, if he's cute in any kind of way, he's not waiting.
He's not waiting.
He's waiting for you in terms of like, yes, I'll be patient and we can do it when you want to do it.
But he got somebody coming in that back door.
Yes.
Or he going to somebody else's back door. Why you think he's winding and dining you
right.
and treating you like a princess?
They doing something.
He getting something.
And that might be an
somewhere.
unpopular opinion, but I think that's my opinion.
Men are physical creatures, like I said, physical, sexual first. Not all, but
right.
Most of them really want.
We're speaking in broad generalities here.
Of course.
Most
men don't want to wait.
Speaking of women, so at work today, these ladies at work, one of them was like, "Oh, I love your shirt. It's a nice shirt. You stay dressing." And I was like, "Well, first of all, that's not true. There's plenty of days when I dress down at work, but I don't know.
You have your moment.
Maybe I dress up enough that it canceled those dress down days." But she's like, "You stay dressing. Oh, look at you." And she's like, your wife really, she be dressing you up like this? And I was like, well, my husband dresses me up like this. It was actually a shirt I was wearing that you bought for me.
Right.
And
but you always get attention with that shirt.
I do. It's a good shirt. And she was like, "Oh, okay." She tried to blame this was actually between 3 of us. It was me and 2 women, and they were like volleying these different things. And then the one woman goes, "Well, you better tell him he better watch out." I was like, "Girl, okay now, girl."
So she didn't clutch her pearls and be like, "Oh
no." I think she took it as a challenge. Girl, no thanks.
Don't do it.
We're gonna be sisters. Sisters. No thanks, sis. She's pretty too. Pretty, both of them. Pretty really? Women.
Okay.
But
it's not, I mean.
No can do.
Just to say it, when you're like looking good and dressed well as a man, you're always going to get attention.
Yeah. Well,
so.
I guess so.
Don't act like that's the first time.
What do you mean?
Don't be coy.
I don't know what you mean. Attention?
Yes. Get attention.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I run. Okay. Sometimes I hide. Sometimes I'm scared of you. You know what song it is? No. You know who sings that song?
No.
You Really Are Black.
Who is it?
That's Britney Spears.
Yeah. I wouldn't know that.
Well, if I said something like, "Baby, come to me."
Yes.
You know, I want you.
Give me some Teddy Pendergrass or something.
I didn't even know who sang that. I just knew that song, but
that wasn't Pendergrass who sang that, but
that was like, who was that? The woman? Oh, I was watching something the other day, one of those, mini scrolling things, and Mickey Howard?
Yes.
Mickey Howard was doing a podcast interview and was talking about how she used to like Anita Baker. Did you see that? That must have gone viral. And she
So many
said that
people talk about Anita Baker.
She said she was. I mean, listen, Anita Baker has so many people talk about her. It must be true.
So many. It's got to be true.
It's got to be true. And too many people have got bad things to say about Anita Baker. I'm sure she's a pleasant person to somebody, but she's not to a lot of people. And Mickey Howard said that she had won an award, and as she was leaving the stage, she was passing Anita Baker, and Anita Baker tapped her on the shoulder and like, hey, come here. She thinking she about to have a diva to diva moment. Oh my God, it's Anita Baker. Anita Baker goes, enjoy it. It's going to be the last one you ever win. Gagged her. Anita.
Oh, Anita.
I love Anita Baker. Like, what's one of Anita Baker's?
I don't know her.
I don't know her. She probably hate the gays or something. What's Anita Baker? One of my favorite Anita Baker. Doom 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 doom. I think about happy endings, but sorry, not like this. He say he slay all dragons, defeat the evil prince. Never come to.
She got some hits now.
She's got some hits. Fairy tales. Okay, I think he took me in.
That's at least the fourth or fifth person that has, gone on tour with her or know her,
Anita.
that doesn't have a good thing to say about
Auntie Nini.
Interaction with her.
I need you to come on the Two Grooms and a podcast, Anita, and to clear it up.
Yes.
This is your invitation, official. Anytime.
Come on.
Any place. Now, you may have to fly us out if you say any place, because, girl, we ain't got coins like that.
She not listening to us.
Well, I'm going to put this clip on the internet and tag her.
Tag her in it. Send it to her.
Speaking of people interviewing or not interviewing, let me just say right here, right now.
Yes.
When this podcast officially pops off, when we go from counting individual subscribers, when we go from going, we went from 49 to 50. Yay. When we go from that to going, oh my gosh, we can't keep up with how many people who are subscribing to the podcast.
And we can hire staff. And
we can hire even that before it, whatever. But when we get to the point where it's just like, man, they're just coming and it's hot because it'll happen. Yeah. Maybe in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, who knows? It'll happen. And when it does, if we ever asked you or invited you to be a guest on this podcast and you turned us down, hell no. You won't get another try. Okay?
So it's going to be like that.
Unless I love you. If I love your work, I understand. You were busy.
A schedule conflict.
Well, you got to find out what the schedule is first to know if it's a conflict. You got to reply to the inquest.
But just because we asked doesn't mean that they're going to be available at that time.
Right, but you got to at least reply and find out what the schedule is possible.
They will reply.
So
their people will get with our people.
Many haven't. I'm the people, and they haven't. I'll tell you. But that's okay though. You will
get there.
It's all love.
Give it time.
It's all go. So you didn't watch the. I binged Nelly and Ashanti. We Belong Together. They have a reality show on Peacock.
No thanks.
And
Nelly's is not really popular right now.
Well, they talked about that. The very last episode, they talked about that. And his justification was that he is military kid, that it's about the presidency, not the president, and that it's an honor to be asked to perform
bullshit
for the president.
I call bullshit.
See, Ashanti didn't really have much to say. She was like, "We don't,"
because she feels the same way. It's bullshit.
Right. Her mom was like, "It's gonna be a," because Nelly was like, "It's not a big deal," and her mom was like, "It's a big deal."
It is.
And so yeah, that's what most people think it's a big deal, and I don't think it's going to necessarily affect Nelly's bag in any major way. But I think it's going to affect him, maybe how he goes down in history, especially the way Trump is going. To have been associated with that, him and Snoop Dogg have probably really tarnished their reputations in a way. But they're so big all before they did it, they won't necessarily get the K Michelle. They didn't get the K Michelle treatment because they were much bigger than her. And had the financial means, I guess, to withstand the rain.
I guess, but it's always going to be remembered,
Mm-hmm.
People don't forget a lot. We may forgive
I think
a little bit.
Quite a bit, but...
well, I guess so. What's wrong?
I'm just looking to see what's happening here. I'm getting this trying to get a internet connection thing. I was trying to look at the time here, but I don't know, something's going on. Let's see, maybe one more thing before we sign off for tonight. So I was looking at different. I was reading some things, trying to figure out another way to say this. I was reading some things, and a conversation was kind of brought to my mind about the follies of youth. When you look back at your life as a young person, what are some of the, at least give me one thing, so we were probably out of time. What's one thing that you're like, that's a huge, that was a big mistake that I think I would in no way repeat now as a mature adult, but that was a big mistake in my youth. And it needs to be an event, not like I should have saved more, but was there an event, something that happened that you're like, my inexperience, my youth, my ignorance got in the way. I blocked my own blessing, maybe.
Well, I don't know. I can't think of anything that I did was so detrimental that it changed my trajectory in life. When I was younger, I think,
yeah, the change
for the most part
was something big and dumb.
Say it was big, but I always wanted to play an instrument, and I'm sad that I did not research and seek ways to do it because my parents, couldn't afford getting an instrument. So I, later on, I found out that I could have rented it, or
you could have still done it now.
Well, that too. I could have sought ways of, getting a rented one or someone donating one.
What instrument would you like to play?
I wanted to either play the trumpet or the saxophone.
Okay. Why don't you start taking some lessons? I would say you're
too old now.
Okay.
I don't think I can blow like that.
Well, I do know somebody who said you do get a little. He said his lips got wore out, I guess,
by playing.
From playing. So I'm thinking if you haven't been playing all this time, then you have fresh lips.
I thought it's more than lips. I thought it's more the breathing.
For the trumpet, sure, it's breath.
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere if you're really interested. I think for me, there was one time I got cast in a show, and when it came time, this was when I had dropped out of school and I was doing theater at different places, and I was doing theater in Columbus, Ohio, and I got cast in this show. I think it was The Boys Next Door. And it was time to go to rehearsal, and I was scared. Mm-hmm. And I just, no call, no show. Mm-hmm. So I never knew what could have happened out of that gig because I was so frightened. Mm-hmm. I didn't believe in myself. So, yeah, that was the folly of youth. Yeah. Gotta believe in yourself, kids. Gotta believe in yourself.
True.
So what's a positive note we want to end on? I don't know why that came to me, that random thing.
Positive note.
I don't know. What are you looking forward to? Tomorrow's 4th of July. What do you hope to happen for yourself tomorrow?
Just to relax and take care of some personal things, but have a day off from work, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And I want us to just have fun and do something productive. So I think we're gonna do some things around here, like work on our health a little bit, and by working out. And I think we're gonna do some juicing and trying to get some healthy foods in our diet. That's
healthier.
Yeah. Healthier. Yeah. Well, for me, healthy. You healthy, I guess. I don't know, because you eat a lot of good things that are good for you.
I do.
I don't, but do that. What else? Take care of some personal business.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah. I hope to get some rest. Maybe cook a good meal, make a nice breakfast. A former student is coming into town with her boyfriend, so we're probably going to hang out with them a little bit. Maybe we should try to go bowling. And like, say, hey,
you need to go research a bowling ball size.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. I'm talking about but for tomorrow, just go bowling at the bowling alley.
Well, that's where you're going to go look at balls. Bowling balls. You got to go there and, see what fits your hand.
They don't have nothing to fit my hand right. It's a small local bowling alley here that don't have shit. Love you, but you don't have shit.
I was thinking positive.
They ain't got shit. I've been there before.
Oh.
It's the one where I took my faculty.
So none of the balls fit?
They barely fit. Like, they just, like, I'm holding it around the knuckle here.
I'm talking about the size. You can always get it, you have to get it drilled to your fingers. Well, so none of those fitted the bowling alley.
They barely fit. Barely fit.
All right. We'll get it together.
Yes.
So you can stop crying about a bowling ball.
Thank y'all so much for listening to the Two Grooms and a Pod podcast.
Thank you. Again. And again. And again.
I'm Cleo.
And I'm Shannon.
Happy 4th of July, y'all. Bye. Jinx.
What?
Jinx.
That's not real wood.